far better performance than in midweek at Exeter, but in the end it just didn't run for you.
Nah, I thought it was a hard result, and the lads, I thought we were the better team today. Just at their moment in the first half where we switched off, we allowed them to cross the ball, and we'll look back at it during the week anyway and analyse it, but I thought we positive performance, good reaction.
8 minutes last week to get that goal back against Cambridge, and it didn't happen. Is that frustration, irritation carried forward into your training week that you couldn't get anything out of a game where you had so much possession?
Yeah, definitely. All the action happened in the first 2 minutes. We could have scored, and a minute after they're up our end and they've scored. We had a couple of chances towards the end. We had a lot of territory, but we didn't really create clear-cut chances. So we've been working on that this week and took it forward into getting back to scoring goals and keeping the back door shut as well.
Is that where Russell sees the more acute problem at the moment, at the front of the team rather than at the back?
Well, I think if you look at it, we haven't scored in 4 games, then something's wrong there. But we've conceded too many goals. We did well a month back, kept 4 clean sheets. We need to get back to that as well, because that sets you up to, you can nick it from a set piece or anything, but we need to get back to keeping the clean sheets and definitely need to start scoring. Not just the forwards, everyone on the pitch needs to start chipping in.
I mean, there is this stat, isn't there, that if Kyle Storr is the anchor in the side, Cheltenham pick up proportionally more points. You haven't had him for the last 3 games. You don't have him on Saturday.
Yeah. I think he's got a good record this season and last season as to when he's played. The team's done well, but like you say, we haven't got him on Saturday, so we've got to come together and put a performance on Saturday that can get us the 3 points away at Barnet.
Do you miss having that anchor in front of you as a triumvirate at the back?
He's good to play with, but so all the other midfielders we've got. He's good. He likes to communicate, and he's likes to have a good relationship with the back 4, the back 3, sorry. But like I say, so it's good to play with all the other midfielders as well, and I wouldn't put anyone ahead of anyone.
In terms of the Barnet side, I think John O'Kindy's got 21 league goals out of 47, so yeah. I mean, he very much is a talisman for them, isn't he? What do you know about him? Because when Cheltenham played Barnet earlier in the season, you weren't here. Yeah,
I've seen he's scored a lot of goals in the last few seasons. He's been consistent scoring in this league since Barnet have come up from the conference, and obviously he's a big physical presence, and I've seen him play a few times, so I'll be looking to see where I can deal with him the best way possible.
And is it about sort of attitude from here on in? I mean, Barnet are in mid-table, they're relatively safe. Do you have to make sure that, you want it more than they do?
Yeah, I think in every game you've got to want it more than the other team, and I think where there's not a lack of that in our side at all, or in our squad, and we've all pulled together with the last few weeks. There's been a bit of negativity in the results, and stuff off the field hasn't gone the way you'd like it to go, but I think that's going to pull us together, and we've sat down and had meetings about it, and that can create a togetherness, and there isn't a lack of wanting to win. Everyone wants to win, everyone's singing on the same hymn sheet, but I think that won't come into it on Saturday. It'll be whoever plays the best on the day as a team will get the 3 points, because like you say, they're sitting mid-table, but I don't think it's the attitude of any players really to be on the beach, as they say. So I think it'll be a competitive game on Saturday, and they won't roll over.
50 points is seen as the magic number. You've got 39. Do you have to kind of assume that Newport, perhaps more Newport than Orient, will get somewhere close to that, and therefore you all equally have to get somewhere close to that?
Yeah, we've just got to focus on ourselves. We've got 8 games to get as many points as we can, and then worry about them afterwards, see where they've got. But we know that we can, looking at the next 8 games, that we can pick up wins and put performances together where we can get another little run going, and hopefully that'll be enough to see us over the line. But I'm sure that we've got enough in that dressing room, and we're capable of pushing clear, yeah.
And clearly a win would be ideal, but in a sense sometimes you have to start a run by stopping losing, if that is an idea.
Yeah, a win. We're looking to win every game, especially Saturday on the back of 3 losses. We want the 3 points. But like you say, if you can't win, then we don't want to lose the game, which comes from keeping the back door shut and keeping a clean sheet. If we go there and keep a clean sheet, then we're going to be relatively happy, but we do want the 3 points.
Well, I haven't spoken to you since the Doncaster game. What was it like in the second half when you got given the armbands, which I'm sure you know was a proud moment, and then only a couple of minutes later, obviously the red card. What was that like to handle?
Yeah, it wasn't ideal. To be honest, I didn't realise until afterwards that had happened, that I'd had the armband for 3 minutes. But it wasn't something that was going on in my head at the time, but it's not ideal, but you've just got to brush yourself off and go again.
Yeah. Do you think it was a fair decision? Do you think it's a bit harsh?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe the first yellow, it was quite early on in the game, and he's just ran into my path. But I think he's a clever player, Coppinger, and he's going to get a booking in that position. The second one's just naivety from me, and I've just got to hold my hands up.
Yeah. I think everyone would agree the defensive performance was a lot better last week than it was at Exeter, which was a difficult night for everyone with, you know, uncertainty going on, that sort of thing. And do you think you can chip in going forward, you know, from set pieces and that sort of thing as defenders to help out a bit?
Yeah, I think Tin scored against Yeovil, and I think me personally, I definitely want to start getting on the end of more in the box, in their box, and start causing a bit more havoc up there, because anything can happen from set plays, and we need to be more potent. We've got a big side, tall, so we need to start getting his head on more things in their box.
Yeah, I know you played a bit of first team football before you came here, but is this the first time you've been involved in a situation like this, going into 8 games to go, with so much at stake still?
Yeah, at York last season we were in a similar position, but we're in a much stronger position now with 8 games to go than we were there. So, yeah, it is probably the first time I've been in this situation.
Yeah, and do you think the key is just holding nerve, really?
Yeah, I think definitely as a squad we've just got to keep doing the things we've been doing since January. If you look at we've set a little league table up from January, and I think we're around, even after 3 losses now, we're around mid-table in that. So we were before the 3 losses, we were up there in the top half of the table. So we've just got to keep doing what we've been doing from the turn of the year, and just keep putting performances together, and everyone stay together and positive. Keep it. There's no point being worrying, looking around our shoulder. We've just got to focus on ourselves and do what we can.
Yeah, and on a kin day, when you see somebody that's scored so many goals this season that you've got to come up against, like Marquis, you actually handled him quite well until late in the game when you were down to 10 men, didn't you? So does it really give you that extra motivation to handle them?
Yeah, I think so. You just look at every player, rather than looking at stats, I'll watch the clips and see what their strengths are, where they score the most goals, and then you've got to be aware of that more. So maybe he might be better in the air than Marquis, or more physical presence, but Marquis were good around the box. So you've just got to adapt your game to sort of be aware of their strengths a bit more.
Yeah, so there's no surprises when the game starts, but then obviously it's still hard to combat, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You're right. You can look at as many clips as you want, and you can think you know what they're going to do, but it's not. It's out when you're out there. It's different, innit? So you've just got to prepare yourself as well as you can, and then trust in your own ability and your own decision making that you'll make the right ones at the right times.
Yeah, the back three reunited last week, and it has done well on the whole, hasn't it, since you were put together at the start of January? Well, one team came in at the end of January, but it's been pretty solid, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think even when with Dan and Tin, or whoever's been playing there, I think we've started to form a little bit of a partnership, and that's good. We've grown together as games, and the more you play together, the more you're going to know each other's game. And I think hopefully that'll stand us in good stead moving forward into the last 8 games of the season, and we can start putting in performances again what keeps us clean sheets as a team and as a back three.
Yeah, and just finally, Will, that save from Scott Brown from the header, did you have a good view of that? Because that was an unbelievable save in the first half, wasn't it?
Yeah, the ball got put over my head, and it was my man who, well, it were a midfielder, but I should have been picking him up. So that were a unbelievable save, and I give him a little pat as I ran out, but point blank, and he's got that in him. He's produced a number of them already since he's come in, and I think that's going to be big coming into the remaining 8 games, because we know that the last line of defence that we've got is very, very good. So we don't want it to get to that, but we know that he can produce saves for us like he has at games like Orient. So we know we're confident in that.
Yeah. Cheers, Will.
Will, with it being the business end of the season and Gary not being around at the moment, how are the squad handling pressure at the moment?
It's not ideal, obviously, but someone's health's over football. You know what I mean? There's more to life than football at the end of the day, and it is a massive 8 games coming up for us and running to the end of the season. but we've all pulled together. Like I say, we've used it as a unity sort of call, and we've all come together, and it's produced a bit more togetherness. The group were together already, but now with this, it's just going to push us on with more added motivation. Not that we needed any more, but it's just that little bit more. And in the 8 games, we'll do whatever we can for the gaffer, because he's the one who's in charge. He calls the shots, and while he's not away, we want to keep the ship sailing. Sorry, need to get to some articulate lessons, not or something.
And lastly, how important will the fans be in getting over that line at the end of the season?
Yeah, they've been massive, to be honest, especially on Saturday. 3rd loss on the bounce. Cambridge wouldn't beat us 1-0. We hadn't scored in 3 games, but there were still quite a lot of the fans, to be honest, stay behind to clap us, which were, I think it were good. It keeps us motivated. It shows that they're behind us, which is what you need, to be honest. It's all right them being behind us when we've won 3 unbeaten in 4, and they have been behind us there, but that shows that they're true fans, where they're sticking with us when we haven't won in 3. So that's great. Yeah.
Could they make the difference come the end of the season? Do you
Definitely, no doubt about it. Like at home, we've been good in front of them. Well, not recently, but we've done generally okay. And I think that comes down to them, to be honest. They create a good atmosphere at home, and they're behind us, and they travel in the numbers as well. And there always will be people that travel, I'm sure, and that's great. That'll help us even come Saturday. That could be the difference.
think? Thank you.